three cars, to Rodney Turner, John Eldrith, and Abe Sherwood not making the call for this one. So it's still Eric Lutz and Kent Walters leading the way to the green flag as the field paces through turn 3. It's Eric Lutz getting the jump off turn 4 as it races into turn 1. Kent Walters charges into the lead coming off 2 as pack races down the back stretch, a battle for 5th back there. Nick Smith. Kent Walters will lead your first lap in front of Eric Lutz and Chris Morgan. Alan Zoot 4th and Nick Smith and Jeff Van Duzen. Two laps in the books. Your top 5 transfer out of this. Right now, the 56D, Jeff Van Duzen out of New York, holding the final transfer to the E-Main. Halfway through this time around. Nick Smith moves in on Van Duzen in the race for 5th. The Broken Arrow driver, who had a little bit of bad luck last night, moves up to 5th. Now Nick Smith moves in on Alan Zoot, tries to take the 4th position. Pair race off turn 2. And Jimmy Taylor slowing down on the front straightaway. It looks like his 360 Nationals will come to an end right here. White flag for Kent Walters. He stretched out an advantage over Eric Lutz and Chris Morgan. Alan Zoot holding down 4th and Nick Smith in the 5th and final transfer. Smith will move to Zoot's outside down the back straightaway. Tries to take 4th as they go into 3. But here's the checkered flag for your winner from Kent City, Ohio, Kent Walters.
And a couple of additional cars at the back of the pack, the 0 of Glenn Stiers and the 56D of Jeff Van Duzen added, as the 18JP of Jack Pilon, as well as the 15S of Nick Smith have scratched from this event. So a couple of cars added as alternates from the F-Main as we bring them off the 4th turn down the front stretch. Field heads for turns 1 and 2. Jamie McDonald quickly out to the lead as he's really stretching it out down the back straightaway. Toby Brown now up into that 2nd spot once again, taking the top 5 cars up into tonight's D-Main out of the E-Main as they start to spread out around the big half mile here. Track still very tacky, very fast right now. It's McDonald, Brown, and Van Haft in your top 3. Brett Geldner, and then the youngster, Dustin Selvage, in that 5th and final transfer spot. Dustin Selvage, a raw rookie in sprint cars this year, never raced anything before getting in the car on practice night here at the Knoxville Raceway back in April. Good racing back in the pack as a couple of those transfer cars trying to move their way forward. Chris Morgan up to the 11th spot from the back. Dustin Selvage now looking to the inside of Brett Geldner. Selvage using the inside of the racetrack, moves up another spot. Now Geldner on the bubble. Brett Geldner, a regular on Saturday nights at the Jackson Speedway up in his home state of Minnesota. Now back to that 5th spot. Eddie Levitt Jr. now just 1 spot out of a transfer as he pursues Geldner down the front straightaway. Geldner goes to the inside this time in turns 1 and 2. But right now, it's all Jamie McDonald looking for his first checkered flag ever here at the Knoxville Raceway, trying to pick up the E-Main win in that Trotsky Chevrolet Vortex Wings Springs Speedway 3NZ car. The battle for the transfer spot as Eddie Levitt Jr. in the Danny Hutchins F4 car. The yellow on the back straightaway. Looks to be the Y5 car of Mike Hausman Jr. Brett Geldner, the man on the bubble there in that Budweiser 1B car. We'll see if anybody else can move up into those coveted top 5 spots. Green flag comes back out. Sean Walden looking pretty racy over in turns 1 and 2 as he's now up to the 6th spot, and problems for your leader. Jamie McDonald off the pace down the back straightaway, stacks everybody up behind him as the white flag comes out. McDonald still slowing down the front stretch. Toby Brown, now your leader as they work down the back stretch. McDonald not going to be able to hang on for a transfer spot. As getting dicey down the back stretch as they come off the fourth turn. Twin checkers are out. Toby Brown wins your E-main. The second spot to Nate Van Haften. Third to the 14W of Sean Walden. Fourth to the 1B of Brett Geldner.
All right, lights out. Going green this time around. Dustin Daggett, Chuck Swenson lead them through turns 1 and 2. Luke Cranston and Roger Crockett in row 2. Daggett gets on the gas, green flag flies, and away we go. Dustin Daggett leads it into turn 1, but here comes Roger Crockett. Roger Crockett underneath. Side by side down the back stretch, it's Crockett and Daggett. Wheel to wheel, 3 and 4. Crockett and Daggett fight for the lead. Crockett's going to lead your first lap in front of Daggett. Chuck Swenson third, Luke Cranston and Jeff Cook. And here comes Travis Ryland making a move into fifth. Ryland, the F&J Construction number 29, moving up to fifth. He needs one more spot. Travis Ryland setting his sights on Luke Cranston in the 20. Cranston on the bubble right now, but Travis Ryland just burst his bubble, taking the 4th position. Halfway through, Roger Crockett continues to lead the way. Roger Crockett leading the way in front of Dustin Daggett, Chuck Swenson, and Travis Ryland in the 4th and final transfer right now. Luke Cranston, Jeff Cook, Rager Phillips on the outside looking in. 6 laps down, 4 to go. Roger Crockett getting into heavy lap traffic. Coming up on the machine, Darrell Brink. Crockett works his way through traffic, entering turn 3 behind a pair of machines. Dustin Daggett trying to close the gap in the 85 as they race down the front straightaway with just 2 laps to go. Daggett reeling him in. Crockett's bottled up behind several lap cars. Here comes Daggett. White flag, 1 more lap. Crockett gets through, but now Daggett has pressure from Chuck Swenson for second. They're side by side for second down the straightaway into 3. Here comes Swenson. Travis Ryland on their heels. They're going to be 3 wide for second, and Travis Ryland takes second at the line.
Outside of him, the veteran driver from Albuquerque, New Mexico, that's the 45X of Johnny Herrera. 10th row, these are the transfer cars from the D main. Inside, the 11C, Roger Crockett. Outside, the 29, Travis Ryland. And in the back, the X car, Chuck Swenson, and is outside, the 85 of Dustin Daggett. As we get set to go, 12 laps. Top 2 cars move on to the B main as your C main, and coming at you down the front stretch. Everybody safely down the front straightaway. They head for turns 1 and 2. J.D. Johnson trying the high side over there as we get a couple cars stacked up in the back. 3 wide, they head down into turns 3 and 4. Lots of racing going on. down to lead the first lap, the 83B car, John Carney. But here comes Larry Ball Jr. These guys have raced each other a lot of times at the Knoxville Raceway. Carney leads, Ball Jr. second. Now Kerry Madsen trying to get up to the top two. He drives to the inside of Ricky Fauber. Madsen to the inside of Fauber, takes that third spot. Kerry Madsen, your 410 point leader, one spot out of a transfer here in the 360 C main. John Carney and Larry Ball Jr., each with a pair of wins here this season at the Knoxville Raceway in 360 action. Wheel to wheel, they come at you down the front stretch. Larry Ball now takes the Van Gorp Construction 5J to the top spot. On the backstretch, the 5B car, Dave Glennon calls it a 360 Nationals. He heads to the pit area. So John Carney running in the second spot, trying to hang on, but here comes Kerry Madsen to the inside. Madsen, he's got the Tony Vermeer 55 hooked up on the inside of the racetrack. Madsen now to second, Carney now on the outside looking in. So it's Larry Ball Jr., the 5J. Kerry Madsen to run second, third spot to that 83B car, John Carney. Jason Danley running fourth, and Ricky Fauber rounds out your top five spots. Trevor Lewis now to the inside of J.D. Johnson. That's the battle for the sixth spot. Lewis, representing the United Racing Club here this weekend, now moves up another position. He's going to look to the inside of Ricky Fauber over in turns 3 and 4. This time by, we're halfway home. We've got 6 in the books, 6 more to go here in the C main. Only the top 2 cars will transfer on. Great racing back in the pack. As Johnny Herrera, Roger Crockett, Scott Winters, Troy Meyer dicing it up back in the pack. Meanwhile, your leader now puts a lap on the 51J. Ryan Jameson slides up a bit. We could have a new leader. Look at Kerry Madsen close the gap. Madsen now right on the tail tank of Larry Ball Jr. coming down the home stretch. And this time by, they'll click off lap number 8. Just 4 more circuits to go for Larry Ball Jr. Tries the high side, exiting turn number 2. Kerry Madsen right down around the bottom of the racetrack. A long way back to that third place car of John Carney. Ball Jr. will keep it on the bottom of the racetrack, puts a lap on Brian Holland in that 51H car. Madsen now has to check up as he tries to put a lap on the 51H of Holland. Laps continue to click off for Larry Ball Jr. Last night, broke a shifter cable before the A main even started, did not turn a lap. Now leading the C main here tonight, trying to work his way into the back of the B main. And this time by, Justin Clark's going to show him the white flag. 1 to go for Larry Ball Jr., but here comes Kerry Madsen. Madsen on the high side of the racetrack. Larry Ball keeps the car pinned down low. Your leaders are worked down the back straightaway. Larry Ball Jr. leads them into turn 3 and 4 the final time. Madsen on the cushion, Larry Ball down low. Who's it going to be at the checkered flag? Give it to the 5J of Larry Ball Jr.
Number 55, Kerry Madsen.
Yeah, lights are out. Go green flag racing when they come down the straightaway. Bronson Mason and Sam Haferty Jr. leading the field through into turn 3. They'll pick up the throttle when they hit the white stripe coming off of turn 4. It's Mason leading the way into turn 1. Cars high, low. For the fast way down the back straightaway. It's Mason leading. Jonathan Allard in second, Nick Mulheim third. There's Sam Haferty on the high side. And here comes Ricky Stenhouse Jr. through the middle.